Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Rosie here, and I'm willing to accept the role of a lifetime, so you don't have to. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a comment about this, so I figured I would say something. I don't have much to say on this, lads, admittedly. But I will say something. I will say something because I was asked. Uh, Taking it back to the roots of this channel, lads. If y'all are true veterans of the channel, you know that we started as an Injustice player. We started uploading. We started Injustice gaming. That is my place of origin, lads. Now, even during those Injustice days, when we would comment on things like Joker, the movie, and shit, I was always upfront about the fact that I was never a comic book guy. I never was a comic book guy. I was exclusively a fan of the Joker, and the Joker pretty much alone. And so, my exposure to this character is quite nothing outside of his outside of brief appearances in the animated series, Batman the Animated Series, and of course Arkham City, which I believe is the character's most notable appearance. We're of course talking about Clayface. Clayface, I don't know if this is part of Todd Phillips' original pitch. If anyone is not familiar, one of the things that when Todd Phillips was brought on to do the original Joker, we're not talking about Joker 2, I don't know what that mess even was. But one of the things that Todd Phillips ended up pitching was DC Black or label or something like that. DC Black label. And it was about taking the characters in a more R-rated direction. And I don't know if this is just some of the fallouts of that idea, or if what we're seeing is just something. I don't know. I don't know anything about this project or how it started. Like I said, very limited exposure, and honestly, there isn't a whole lot in this trailer for us to really sink our teeth into. But this is, I believe, the first official comic book horror movie, if I'm not mistaken. They are taking a character that is a little bit more on the obscure side, not totally obscure. Again, he's had some notable appearances in the past, but in terms of like where he scales on the franchise notoriety, he's below Bane, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. Uh, we're talking a tier below here. Like I would argue the Court of Owls are more significant than Clayface is at this point. But again, I don't know nothing about comic books or DC or anything. That being said, DC has always, in my mind, been superior to Marvel. They just in general tone and just direction and everything like that. I was never an MCU guy. I still have not seen the MCU. I think I've seen Iron Man 2, Guardians of the Galaxy, and I believe that's it. I believe that's it, lads. So yeah, not an MCU guy here. DC was always better. That being said, this is not my cup of tea. The comic book thing is not my cup of tea. But horror is my cup of tea, lads. And so the fact that we're actually doing this, the fact that we were going balls to the wall with a horror film set in the new DC universe, is interesting to me. I have not seen Superman. I'm not going to see Supergirl. This is solely interesting because it is a horror movie, and the direction we're going in was looking to be quite serious. For all you Joker nerds like me, there is implication in this trailer that the Joker is active. At least whether or not he's going to be in the movie is debatable. Likely not. But like the graffiti on the wall, the clown stuff, Joker is at least active during the time frame of this movie's placement. But just the fact that this is a horror movie set in the DC world, and I believe it's going to be the first of its kind, makes this an intriguing prospect. And again, while I have never been a comic book guy, I have always been, I've always been a fan of the Joker. And something like this is something that keeps me with an open mind. I will be seeing this movie when it drops, just because it's like a DC Studios horror movie. That in itself is intriguing, and like I am gonna go in with an open mind. I'm going to say, make me a fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that it's like I've never been like a tribalist. oh my god, it can't be good if it's not something I already like. Like, we talk about how these studios are not original, they don't do anything inventive with or innovative with their IPs. That looks like to be what this is. They're taking a character that is not the most popular, that is not the most well known, and they're trying to raise his stock a little bit. And it looks like it. 8 days, it's still #1 on the movies and trending chart. 11 million views in 8 days. It looks like they have caught some intrigue here with this teaser. It's well made, well put together, gives you just enough to kind of understand what's going on, and it intersects the comic book and horror worlds. And so, like, you have an interesting challenge, and I invite you to do something original with an IP that not many people care about, raise its stock, and make me a fan of this character. Injustice 3 is supposedly on the horizon, is it not? Well, if you let's raise this character's stock enough to get him in the game, wouldn't that be interesting? Give me a fucking main to replace Joker if he's not going to be in the third one, because he's dead in the continuity's timeline. So again, definitely not a lot to unpack for right now, and especially with the month of May coming up, as in tomorrow. I will be seeing Hakum tomorrow. Possible video on that. I still haven't done the Mummy. I actually filmed a fucking video on the Mummy that I got split into 2 parts, and yeah. But so, like, definitely not a lot to comment on. But like with this month and horror fever striking hard again at the current moment. Uh, the buzz has at least intrigued me, and I invite the studio to make me a fan of this character and raise the stock a little bit. And hell, I encourage them to keep doing this. If this is a success, you could do like a neat little thing with this character. Maybe I'm not. I don't know why I'm seeing duology with this. I'm seeing duology, not trilogy, duology. I don't know why, but that's just the hunch I have. But that being said, I'm not gonna try to extend this any longer than it has to be. That's all I pretty much got to say. This is just a neat little teaser. It's got me intrigued, and I will be seeing this movie, and I invite the studio to make me a fan. That's all I gotta say, lads. I'm getting the hell out of here. GG's.